The galaxy in fear. The galaxy was broken. It was no longer a place of peace or wonder, but a wide hunting ground where the strong ruled and the weak vanished. Across countless star systems, the same scene repeated again and again, burning colonies, empty trade routes, and endless cries for help that never found an answer. The stars still shined, but their light gave no safety. Shadows of raiders moved everywhere. The raiders came in many shapes. Some were insect-like, some reptilian, and some looked almost human but twisted by greed. They carried no banners, only hunger. Their fleets attacked without warning, appearing in one system today and another tomorrow. No government, no alliance, no empire could stop them. One by one, the proud civilizations of the galaxy bent their knees or were destroyed. The smaller worlds suffered the most. A mining station near a red dwarf was stripped of its ore, its workers sold as slaves. A water planet rich in life was burned just to make an example. Entire species were forced to scatter, leaving behind their homeworlds, hiding in deep space. Everyone feared the raiders, because there was no one else left to fight. The great empires had already fallen. The Valar Dominion, once powerful, was reduced to ashes. The Archan Confederacy, who had ruled trade for centuries, had collapsed after their fleets were ambushed and destroyed. Even the proud Sorvan, with their warrior traditions, could not stand against the endless tide of raider ships. It was said that if you crossed a starfield and saw wreckage drifting in the dark, you would find a raider fleet close behind it. Hope was something people no longer spoke about. In taverns across the galaxy, aliens whispered only of survival. Keep your ship hidden. Travel only under false beacons. Pay tribute if they come, or die. These words became the law of the stars. But in every in every frightened glance, there was also a question. It was a question no one dared to speak out loud, but all carried in their hearts. Was this the end? Some said yes. The galaxy had always needed balance, and now it had tipped too far. Raiders ruled, and that was the new order. Others argued that once, long ago, there had been protectors, an ancient species that fought harder than any other. Their name was not often spoken because most believed they were gone, extinct, wiped out in wars no one remembered clearly. Humans. Aliens remembered fragments of them, old recordings, half-forgotten histories. Some said humans were builders, others called them destroyers. But all agreed on one thing: they were dangerous. Too dangerous to survive. That was why, according to legend, the galaxy had erased them. So when whispers began of a strange ship seen moving in the outer dark, most ignored it. Some said it was just an old wreck drifting, others believed it was a ghost, a story told by frightened traders. But the rumors spread anyway. It was said the ship was unlike any raider craft, unlike any alien design. Its hull was black as night, absorbing light instead of reflecting it. Its shape was sharp, as if built for war and nothing else. And most of all, it moved silently. It did not broadcast signals, it did not answer hails. It appeared, and then it vanished again, leaving behind only silence. One alien captain swore he saw it pass his convoy in the dark. He claimed it was bigger than any battleship, yet moved faster than a raider frigate. His crew begged him not to speak of it, but he could not stop himself. He said the ship had a name written across its side in letters no alien could understand. Still, the galaxy did not believe. After all, what could one ship do against thousands? Even if humans had returned, even if this was one of their warships, the galaxy was too far gone. The raiders had won. The fear was too deep. Then came the day of the ambush. A convoy of merchant ships carrying food and medicine tried to cross a quiet sector. They were guarded by only 2 small escorts. Everyone knew the risk, but there was no choice. Colonies were starving. The raiders arrived before the convoy even cleared the system's edge. Their ships fell out of hyperspace like predators closing a trap. They laughed across open channels, mocking the weak convoy. They promised quick deaths for those who resisted, and long suffering for those who surrendered. The merchant crews panicked, engines screaming as they tried to escape. But escape was impossible. The escorts were brave, but their weapons were small and their shields weak. Within minutes, one was reduced to burning wreckage, the other limped, broken. while the raiders circled closer. The convoy begged for help, but no one answered. The galaxy had learned not to answer such calls. The raiders prepared to finish the slaughter. Their leader, a scarred reptilian commander, laughed as he gave the order to fire. But before the shots landed, every raider sensor lit up with a warning. Something massive had just entered the system. At first, they thought it was another raider fleet, perhaps allies arriving to share the kill, but then the darkness shifted and a new shape emerged. A single warship. It slid out from the void like a predator no one had ever seen. Black hull, silent engines, weapons glowing faintly in the dark. The raiders stopped laughing. The convoy ships froze as well, their crews staring at the shape with wide eyes. No one knew whose side it was on. No one even knew if it was alive. For a moment, the entire battlefield went quiet. Then the strange ship lit its forward cannons, and the galaxy's fear changed into something else. The unknown human ship. The battlefield was silent when the new ship appeared. Raiders who moments ago laughed with cruel joy now hesitated. Their weapons were still hot, their prey still trembling, yet every eye was fixed on the dark warship that had emerged from nowhere. The convoy's crew could not believe it. For a second they even thought it might be another raider trick. But the ship's shape was wrong. Too sharp, too heavy, too purposeful. It was not built for raiding, it was built for war. The hull was black, darker than the space around it. Instead of shining with colors or markings like alien fleets, it absorbed light, making it almost invisible. Along its sides, hidden panels shifted, and weapons the size of towers slid into place. The entire ship looked alive, as if it had been waiting for this moment. The raider leader snarled and barked commands. His fleet numbered over 20 ships, fast, well-armed, and confident. One ship could not stop them. One ship had no right to interrupt their feast. The first raider frigates moved to attack. They fired volleys of plasma, bright lines of energy cutting through the dark. The shots screamed toward the unknown vessel. But before they could land, the warship answered. It fired only once. A single blast of light erupted from its forward cannon. The nearest raider frigate vanished in an explosion so violent that it shook every other ship in the system. Pieces of burning metal spun across the void. In seconds, the frigate was gone, reduced to nothing more than wreckage drifting in silence. The convoy crews gasped. The raiders cursed. But the black warship did not stop. Its cannons rotated, and more hidden ports opened. A storm of missiles launched, glowing like falling stars. They moved faster than any alien weapon, weaving through enemy fire, slamming into raider hulls with terrifying precision. Ship after ship was torn apart. Within minutes, 5 raider vessels had been destroyed. The survivors tried to regroup, but the warship moved like a predator circling prey. For something so large it was impossibly fast. Its engines flared only for seconds before it was gone again, slipping behind them, striking from unexpected angles. "Impossible," the raider commander hissed. "No ship moves like this." But the truth was already spreading among his fleet. The whispers were back, the stories were real. This was no alien craft, this was human. The convoy's communication officer trembled as she recognized the symbols glowing faintly on the warship's side. They were not alien glyphs, they were letters. Old human letters. She could not read them, but she knew their meaning. One of the escorts, half destroyed and leaking fire, sent a desperate hail. "Identify yourself," the captain begged. "Who are you? Why are you here?" For a long moment, there was no answer. The warship kept firing, cutting down another raider destroyer in silence. Then, suddenly, a voice filled the comms. It was not harsh. It was not alien. It was calm, steady, and cold. "This convoy is under my protection." The raider commander's blood ran cold. That voice was human. The convoy crews froze. The voice was strange to them, but it carried weight. A tone of someone who had seen war before, someone who did not fear death. The raiders panicked. Some tried to flee, engines burning hot as they turned away from the slaughter. But the warship was faster, its weapons tracked them, and missiles tore into their engines. There was no escape. The raider leader screamed in rage, ordering all ships to combine firepower. Plasma, railguns, and missiles flooded the dark, striking the warship's shields. For the first time, its black hull glowed under the storm of enemy fire. The raiders howled in triumph, thinking they had broken it. But then the storm cleared. The warship still moved. Its Shia LDS rippled like water, absorbing the damage. Its hull bore no scars, and its cannons began to glow again. The raiders realized the truth too late. This was no ordinary ship. Its technology was beyond theirs. Its weapons were beyond theirs. One by one, their ships fell, until only the leader's vessel remained. He refused to run. His pride would not allow it. He screamed across open comms, "What are you? No species has such power. No empire builds ships like this. Who are you?" The warship paused, silent, except for the hum of its engines. Then the same calm voice answered, a voice that seemed to echo across the stars. "We are humanity." The raider commander felt the words strike deeper than any weapon. His crew whispered in fear. Humanity, extinct, gone, erased from history, had returned. Before he could speak again, the warship's final barrage ripped through his ship. His vessel split apart in a storm of fire. His last scream was swallowed by the void. The battle was over. The convoy floated in stunned silence. They had expected death. Instead, they were alive, saved by something that should not exist. The mysterious warship drifted closer, massive and dark, until its shadow fell across the surviving ships. The convoy captain swallowed hard and whispered, "What happens now?" The comms flickered one last time and the human voice returned. "This galaxy belongs to its people again. The raiders will no longer decide your fate." And then, without another word, the warship's engines flared and it vanished into the dark, leaving behind only silence and awe. But across the galaxy, the story spread. Raiders destroyed by a single unknown ship. Survivors swearing they heard the voice of humanity. Whispers became fear. Fear became rumors. And rumors became legend. The galaxy had forgotten humans. Now it remembered. The return of humanity. The story of the dark warship spread like fire across the galaxy. At first, no one believed it. Survivors of the convoy were called liars, their tales dismissed as fear-born illusions. Yet the wreckage of the raider fleet floated in the sector, proof too heavy to deny. Merchants carried the tale to distant worlds. Miners whispered of it in tunnels deep beneath frozen moons. Soldiers who had long lost their courage listened and felt a forgotten spark inside. Everywhere, one word began to return, a word that many thought had been erased forever. Human. The aliens remembered them only in fragments. To some, they were ghosts. To others, monsters. But to all, they were dangerous. The legends told that humans never gave up, that they fought when others would kneel, that their fire was endless, their rage unbroken. The Sorvan, a warrior race nearly extinct, sat in council as their elders argued. One elder spat on the ground saying, "If humans walk again, then death walks with them." But a younger voice replied, "Or perhaps hope walks with them." The Valar, who had lost their empire to the raiders, whispered prayers in their ruined temples. They remembered that once humans had fought at their side. Perhaps this was not the end after all. But not everyone was pleased. The raiders felt the shift first. Fear crept through their ranks. Convoys that once surrendered at the sight of them now dared to run. Colonies whispered that protection might be near. And worst of all, some raiders deserted, too terrified to face the black warship again. The raider lords gathered in a dead system where no sun remained. Their armada filled the darkness, thousands of ships armed and ready. Each commander spoke with venom, but beneath their anger was fear. "It is only one ship," one sneered. "One ship destroyed 3 fleets," another growled. "Then we destroy it too." "Together," said the leader, his voice hard. "We will not allow humanity to rise again. If this ship lives, our reign is finished." And so a plan was made. The raiders would lure the human warship into a trap. A bait convoy would be sent, helpless and alone, too tempting for the mysterious vessel to ignore. Once the ship appeared, the full armada would fall upon it, thousands of weapons tearing it apart. The galaxy waited. Meanwhile, the warship itself moved silently. It appeared where raiders struck hardest. Colonies on the edge of despair awoke to find their attackers burning in the void. Mining outposts, thought lost, were suddenly free again. It was as if the warship carried with it the will of an entire species. But the truth was stranger. Inside the vessel, only a handful of humans remained. Survivors of a long war, guardians of an oath never broken. They had slept for centuries, hidden in the dark, waiting for the galaxy to call them again. And now that call had come. Their captain, a man with eyes hardened by time, stood on the bridge and watched the stars. Around him, his crew moved with quiet discipline. Each of them carried the same weight, the knowledge that humanity had been forgotten, but was not gone. He spoke rarely, but when he did, the crew listened. "The galaxy does not need conquerors," he said. "It needs protectors. We will show them what humanity truly is." And so they fought, again and again. Each battle left more raiders destroyed, more hope born. Yet with each victory, the trap drew closer. The raider armada was waiting. On a distant moon, a child looked to the stars and whispered, "The humans are back." In a mining station, workers raised a toast with the little food they had. On a forgotten colony world, survivors lit fires in the night and sang songs they had not sung for generations. The galaxy began to believe again. But belief was dangerous. It carried weight, and the raiders were ready to crush it. The bait convoy was set. Weak ships, carrying false signals of distress, drifted near the edge of a dying star system. They waited, trembling, though none of them were truly helpless. Behind the star's shadow, thousands of raider ships lay hidden, engines cold, weapons primed. One word echoed through their fleet: kill. The black warship moved silently through the void, its sensors reaching. The captain saw the distress call and felt the weight of choice. His crew did not hesitate. Where there was danger, they would go. The trap was sprung. As the warship entered the system, shadows shifted. Raider engines roared to life. One by one, ships emerged from the dark until the human vessel was surrounded on all sides. The raider leader laughed, his voice carrying across every channel. "At last we meet. You thought to frighten us with legends. You thought to play God. But you are only one ship, one crew, one species long dead. Tonight we erase you forever." On the bridge of the human warship, the crew watched calmly. Their captain's face did not change. His voice was steady. "They still do not understand." The crew waited for his command. He gave only 3 words: "Prepare for battle." The stars themselves seemed to tremble. The final war was about to begin. Flames in the dark. The human warship was surrounded. From every direction, raider ships emerged, their engines glowing, their weapons locked. Thousands of them, enough to destroy entire fleets, now pointed at one vessel. For the first time in years, the raider lords felt powerful again. They believed no ship, no matter how advanced, could survive such numbers. The trap was perfect. The bait had worked. On the bridge of the black warship, the human crew did not panic. They had seen such odds before. They had lived through battles where every calculation said they should have died. Humanity had never measured wars by numbers. They measured by will. The raider commander laughed across the comms. "This is your end. Humanity will return to dust where it belongs." The captain of the human warship did not respond immediately. His crew waited in silence, hands on weapons, eyes on their captain. Finally he spoke in a steady voice. "Humanity does not end. It only waits." The order was given. The warship came alive. Its cannons roared, unleashing streams of fire that split through raider destroyers in seconds. Missiles shot from hidden bays, weaving and twisting like living predators, striking ships before they could fire back. The dark hull glowed with shield energy as the raiders opened fire in return. the sky turned into chaos. The first wave of raiders fell quickly. Ships exploded in blinding flashes, scattering debris across the void. But for every ship destroyed, 10 more pressed forward. The warship was swallowed in fire, its shields blazing as plasma and railgun fire hammered it. On the convoy, worlds listening from afar, hearts sank. Could one ship truly fight an entire armada? Even with human power, even with human fire, the odds were too heavy. But then the warship did something no one expected. Its engines flared, brighter than stars, and it charged directly into the heart of the raider fleet. The raiders were stunned. No ship would dare such a move. But this was not just any ship. It was human. It tore through their lines, cannons shredding cruisers at point-blank range, ramming frigates aside like insects. Raiders tried to scatter, but the warship was everywhere at once, its weapons cutting them down. The human crew moved with deadly precision. Every shot true. Every maneuver was perfect. They were not fighting for glory. They were fighting for something greater, the right for the galaxy to be free. The battle raged on. Raider screams filled the comms. Some begged for mercy. Others cursed the humans with their last breath. But the warship showed none. Mercy had been burned out of humanity long ago, when the galaxy abandoned them. Now they returned only as fire. Hours passed, though to the crews it felt like moments. One by one, raider ships fell until the armada was broken. The trap had become a grave. At last, only the raider flagship remained. Heavily armed, twice the size of the others, it stood defiant, its commander raging. "You cannot erase us. We are the future. The galaxy belongs to us." The human captain's voice answered, calm as ever. "The galaxy belongs to its people. Not to raiders, not to tyrants, and not to fear." The warship's main cannon charged, glowing like a newborn sun. The final blast erupted, tearing through the raider flagship. It split apart in silence, a titan broken, fire spilling into the void. And then, silence. The battle was over. The raider armada, once unstoppable, was nothing more than drifting wreckage. Flames glowed across the dark, thousands of ships reduced to dust. Across the galaxy, survivors listened to the reports. Colonies whispered in disbelief. Soldiers lifted their weapons again, their courage reborn. Traitors wept with joy. The galaxy remembered. One ship, one crew, one word: humanity. On the bridge, the crew stood in silence, watching the battlefield fade. The captain spoke once more, his words carried into the stars. "Let the galaxy know this. Humanity has returned, and we are not finished." The warship turned, engines burning as it vanished into the dark once more. Behind it, the flames of battle still glowed, a reminder for all who watched. One fleet was enough. One warship was enough, because it carried all of humanity's fire.